Hello and welcome to April. This month I wanted to keep things simple. Incredibly simple, especially compared to last year's April bullet journal. As you can see, I did individual illustrations for every page of the spread, and though it is gorgeous and I absolutely love the way that it turned out, I just don't have the time to focus on doing something quite so intricate. So this time I'm focusing more on things that are a little bit more easily accessible. We're going to focus more on washi tape and stickers, as opposed to drawing everything out by hand. Now, I normally don't show this, but here I am trying to pick out my colors for the swatches, and I'm wanting to make it match each week in the spread, going with more cool colors this month. Now, of course, I am going to place all of the supplies that I know that I have in the description below, so if you are interested in any of these washi tapes or stickers, I'm not affiliated, but if you were interested in making a spread like this, all of the supplies are down below. I know that it isn't nearly as exciting or interesting or intricate as some of my previous designs. I mean, I like this better than the Narnia one for sure. But it is simple and definitely doable with a short amount of time. I think when it came down to it, it took me about 10 minutes to do each spread in the notebook after I figured out exactly what I wanted to do. So really not that long at all. This month I'm focusing on the Impressionists. Now, Impressionism is probably my favorite art style that there is. I cried the first time I saw Monet's water lilies in person. Just absolutely full-on wept in the museum. It was kind of embarrassing, honestly. I'm wanting to take care to notice the little things and, I don't know, just be more cognizant and present in my life. My goal for this month is to find balance, and I'm hoping that this spread will help to inspire me to do that. I've noticed the last couple of months that after I make my monthly spread, I don't really have too much of a reason to come back to it. Last month, a little bit with my exercise tracker, but I wanted to have a really good reason to come back to the monthly spread every day. And so, instead of doing any sort of habit tracker, I'm wanting to have like a highlight of my day, a little bit of micro journaling, if you will. So every day, whatever the highlight was, I'll put in it. I actually had a friend growing up in high school who would always bounce up to me and say, "What was the highlight of your day?" or "What was the highlight of your week?" So I guess it's kind of an homage to that. So here I'm using washi tape in order to separate each of the sections, each of the days. I'm using a slightly different setup than I've used before. I actually really like how this turned out with things. And while it was a little bit fiddly to get started, it was actually quite simple. I mean, granted, this is sped up quite a bit, so it did take me a little bit of time to get it perfect. And as you can see, I'll take it off and try again multiple times. But it is nice to be able to move things around a little bit. I definitely have made some mistakes on this spread, especially as we get a little bit further in the setup. But I really like how it turned out. It's kind of peaceful and serene and thoughtful in the way that Impressionist art always makes me feel. I've had lots of different favorite styles over the years. When I was 5, I went to some sort of art class or summer program where we learned about Picasso and did some art projects. And I absolutely loved that there was an artist, a renowned artist at that seemed to be able to draw just like me. Granted, I know better at this point that he was doing that very purposefully, and that he knew the rules, just that he knew them well enough to break them. When I was 10 or 11, I fell in love with the Renaissance and started in on a deep dive on Leonardo da Vinci. And shortly after that, I fell into Impressionism, and I have never quite recovered. Monet is probably my favorite artist, which is why I am highlighting him more on this set of spreads. But Van Gogh is up there, probably a close second, which is why I included him as well. I know that Van Gogh is considered post-Impressionism, but I think that they complement each other well enough that it's not too big of a deal. Up there in the corner, I have my turtle. I really should name him. He's kind of a paperweight, but he holds my kneaded eraser really well and keeps it from getting too dry and crumbly. Now, I thought that blue was going to be my favorite spread, but you'll see in a little while that it's not really a mistake. There weren't really a lot of washi tape options for blue, oddly enough, in my Monet set. And so I ended up doing one that had a lot of green and yellow in it, which doesn't look terrible, but it's not quite what I would go for, I think. I might even go back and replace it with something else. I'm not sure. For this spread, I actually was very specific in my choice of the paintings. The rest of them, it was kind of like I took them out and lined them up to try and figure out which colors went best together, which is how I came up with the light green, the blue, the purple, and the kind of tealy color. I knew that I wanted to put Starry Night in here because, of course I'm going to put one of the more famous paintings in the world in my spread. And I put it there in particular. Funnily enough, even though it's Starry Night and it's depicting the night, 8th happens to be when the eclipse is happening. And so, I don't know, I felt like celestial bodies that I needed to put that one on that particular day. I really hate that green. It really does not look good. I'm not sure what to do about it though. I'll have to go back and see if there's any washi tape that I could do to replace that, because I really don't like that. Hopefully it'll come up. Washi tape is pretty good about being forgiving, which is nice, and the whole point of why I'm doing my spread this way. As far as time is concerned for this spread, it actually is one of my least time-consuming spreads that I've ever done, and really, really super satisfying with the stickers, to just line them up and have them be just so. It might have actually been easier to just do all of these boxes with the colors from the markers, just color it in. But of course I didn't do that. Here you can see that I'm fixing a small mistake. I had put the washi tape up a little bit too high. But that is the nice thing about washi tape, is that it is removable. Part of the reason why I am using the Impressionists as my inspiration for this month's spread is that I will be taking a vacation at the end of the month and may or may not have the opportunity to see some of these pieces in person, and I am very excited about it. See, that is such a better color palette right in there. Even though it's not completely purple, it has enough of it in there, and especially with all of the colors from the stickers going in, it just looks so much better. I need to go back and fix the blue one. I really do. March was such a whirlwind. There were so many things that happened in it that were so unexpected. I did manage to keep my exercise goals, which is fantastic. Yes, I did have to bribe myself to finish, but you know what? I exercised 6 days out of 7 every week, which is incredible for me. I'm really bad at exercising. I did consider doing a new challenge for the month of April, but I recently got an e-bike and I'm going to be using it to get around town. So it's kind of going to be built-in exercise as opposed to forced exercise. Yesterday I got 30 minutes and I wasn't even really trying. The whole point of bullet journaling for me is to try and keep track of things, to try and keep me accountable and to make sure that I'm not missing anything. There are a lot of things going on in my life, a lot of things to juggle, hence the need for balance in my life. I actually think that for as much time as I put into my bullet journal spreads every month, I get that time back just because I'm not having to try and remember things as much. I'm able to keep on track a little bit better. See, it's hard to say if I like the purple one better or this teal one. I did mess up here. You'll see that first row, I guess the second on the right-hand page, it's a little bit shorter and the one below it is a little bit larger. I messed up. I didn't see where my marking was. That wasn't quite accurate for my angle for filming. You could see that I was considering taking the sticker off, but decided, you know what, we're just gonna live with it. We're just gonna live with it. It's gonna be okay. And I mean, it doesn't look terrible. If it wasn't for that mistake, I think this would probably be my favorite spread. I love the colors and I love all of the pieces of art. This one's probably more of a Van Gogh spread, which is funny because I would say Monet is my favorite artist, but we are continuing with our Monster of the Week, trying to get specific things done. I think that's probably the most useful thing that I bring from one spread to the next. And here is our flip through from our monthly spread with our highlights of the day and into our 4 weeks of April. I'm hoping that this April can bring balance and peace and just a serenity that March didn't quite have as all the flowers are coming. Hope you have a wonderful month and love you. See you. Bye.